Dan and Corey here, welcoming you into Libservative.
The great fundamental issue now before our people. We, the people, cannot turn back.
Yeah, welcome in to another rousing bonus rendition of Libservative.
Bonus.
Yeah, that's what we need. Intellectual idiots.
Need a DJ horn.
Intellectual idiots fostering political and cultural literacy. Bell the body snatcher on the ones and twos. He, as always, is Corey Walsh.
He's Dan Griffin.
And I don't know what to do. It's a bonus episode. We're here twice in 3 days. I think are we just cleaning up our notes from the last episode? Because I think that's all it is. I had 2 weeks worth of notes. There was stuff about Zelensky we didn't talk about. We didn't talk about Andrew Cuomo running for fucking New York City mayor.
Dad, it's a show about nothing where the rules are made up and the points don't matter.
Yeah. We didn't talk about how serious this measles outbreak in Texas was. Bell's got a great video for us. Bell's got a great video for us from how the TV used to view the measles versus how it's viewed today. We didn't get to that in the last episode. Did we talk a lot about the tariffs in the last episode? I think we just kind of breezed by it because we all know it's going to be a disaster, right?
Right. It's just going to be, you're seeing the memes pop up about the tariffs, right? And it's just, the tariffs are happening. And then, oh, wait, nope, they're not happening. They're happening again. Oh, hold on. No, they're not.
Because I know we talked about
he's using them as a fucking bargaining chip. Like I fucking called now, like back in November.
Yeah, and I can tell you this. I know being in the food industry, did I say this last time? I don't remember if I said it, so I'll say it again. I had like 4 or 5 customers call me being like, you know anything about pricing? I'm like, what are you talking about? They're like, do you like our prices going up because of the tariffs? Because we get actually a considerable amount of product from Canada. We get a bunch from overseas that we sell to our customers. And I'm like, I am a fucking salesman, dude. I don't know shit. I'm going to be the last person to know about whether or not prices are going to be going up anytime soon.
So just out of curiosity, what kind of foods, because like obviously like non-perishable items, I'm assuming like maybe like pastas or something. Like,
well, we get a lot of we get a lot of like specialty items from because as you know, Corey, and as Bell knows, maybe some of our listeners don't, we have a large Middle Eastern population.
The largest outside of the Middle East itself.
Yeah, in Metro Detroit. And so we import.
That's not like the way, like, I feel like someone might take the way you said large as a negative connotation, but it's not. Like it's
really? Is that the way that sounded? No, I don't care.
Yeah, maybe I just saw it in your eyes, but I'm not.
No.
Like, Dad doesn't speak for the podcast.
Corey, these people pay my commissions. Like I'm
just fucking with you.
These people pay my commissions. I'm absolutely thrilled that they're here. But no,
but would you still be thrilled if they didn't pay your commissions?
No, I would not. That's how I make my money. Well, we do import a lot of Middle Eastern product. We import certain goods from Canada. So yeah, there's probably going to be some price increases. But yeah, the tariffs. We had this conversation a couple of weeks ago where I had talked about the Dave Smith quote of which I thought was brilliant. Tariffs are basically like punching yourself in the face. And Donald Trump went out and threatened to punch himself in the face, and Canada and Mexico is in particular, but other places where we get goods from, we're also like, no, don't punch yourself in the face.
Yeah. I picture, like it's funny because you could flip that and be like, when you work in the mental health field and one of your patients or your clients, based on whether or not it's privatized or publicly funded, if one of your patients or your clients is punching himself in the face, you try to stop him.
That's true. Except I think in this case, I think we're the doctor, though, in this case, most of the time. So it's like your doctor.
We are the world's smartest podcast.
It's like your doctor threatening to punch himself in the face, and then you telling him not to. It just doesn't make sense.
They insult us in an attempt to gaslight us, and we will not stand for it.
I will not stand for it because I'm sitting.
Thank you.
I'm drinking whiskey. I haven't drank whiskey in a little while, boys. And
it's a Friday night. We're all getting a little loose. Bell's about to fall asleep over there. I don't know what's going on with him. I know he's
taking Quaaludes. He just found some.
I wish.
I was gonna say, aren't Quaaludes extinct?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think.
Do they not exist?
I'm sure someone somewhere is making bathtub Quaaludes that very rich people buy.
I'm sitting here looking. I was about to ask ChatGPT, and I'm sitting here looking at the amount of times that Kyle Kalinski has been on the Joe Rogan Experience.
That's right. You asked that because we were just curious. Yeah.
Yeah. Kyle's lost the plot. He's absolutely lost plot.
It bums me out because I had a lot of respect for Kyle, and I think I still do because I have a lot of respect for a lot of my other friends who just fucking get caught up in TDS. I don't know. It's just like we've been here before.
Kyle is lost in the Elon.
He's lost in the sauce. He's lost in the sauce a little bit, but it's cool.
It's not cool. Don't let him off the hook. It's not cool.
I mean, let me sit here and start reading some of the comments for a minute, and you'll hear me get riled up again. But it's like, I mean, yeah, I'm not mad. I'm disappointed.
Are you disappointed? You disappointed?
I'm not mad. I'm disappointed.
Yeah, this guy.
It's just like, you know what I mean? Because it's like you have a platform that's way fucking bigger than ours. And we're going to talk about some shit that we don't like that Trump is doing. And it's like, you know what? I've seen you talk about this probably before us because you do this full time. This is a part-time gig for us boys. And you are just soaking up so much of your time. And the megaphone that you're draining the batteries in the megaphone, just making fart sounds. And you're not saving it for the actual, like in your car, and not saving it for the actual march when you can go out there and say some shit. You know what I mean? And does that make sense? And
it makes sense.
It's just, it's like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Like, just like off the top of my head, the random shit that's happening in the world right now, right? Like
he's tweeting
Syria because of America meddling in another country. Syria right now, there's a fucking bloodbath happening, and they're all killing each other. My phone, Siri, just clicked down on my phone because I said Syria, and
Kyle's tweeting out things like deport Elon Musk because he's lost the plot on that. And I'm looking at his tweet from earlier today. And I'm going, bro, just chill because So you know how the there was debris over the Bahamas because the SpaceX Starship fell apart during
they called him a failure.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Fell apart during a test flight. And if you know, like even just the most basic things about rocketry, just like literally something a 4-year-old might know.
You gotta test them.
Is that you experience and you test first. And what does Kyle tweet out? He goes, "The complete fraud. Elon Musk had another massive failure, and he demands control of air traffic control for the entire country. The idiot should be in prison. In prison. He should return the $38 billion that he stole from U.S. taxpayers." Kyle, okay, so this is what maybe, I don't know, 20 or so words. He's wrong 3 times in just this
well, here's
one
the
tweet.
thing. It's like, dude, take a breath, take a deep breath, loosen your jaw, relax your shoulders,
Dye your hair back to its regular color.
and I don't care about that. Just whatever, dye your hair pink. I'll give a shit. I'm about to dye my kid's hair blue. But fucking look at the space program that we did in the 60s, because space technology was monopolized by governments until recently.
So
now you're seeing the private industries, people that just have enough money, because it's not like rocketry is the same as us going to buying one of those $20 rockets with a C engine and launching it in the air 300 feet and watching it come down with a parachute and going
exactly the same.
No, and so you're watching in real time someone go through all the trials and errors that the actual government itself did. If you were on Twitter right now, and let's say Twitter was around when NASA was doing all their shit and rockets were just exploding, and people actually died, like the fucking Challenger blew up, and then NASA was like, "Ooh, we're not doing that anymore." And
SpaceX has done more in 10 years for space travel than NASA did since its inception.
The government,
that's reality.
Under Biden and Trump, trusted SpaceX enough for transport to the space station, right? Am I wrong? Weren't they using SpaceX rockets?
Are you trying to filibuster me calling out Kyle?
No, I'm not. I'm talking shit about it too. And it's just dude, it's like, would you have had the same, objectively, somebody, fuck whatever he's doing, because you bitch about the government too, and so you got to be objective about one thing, you got to be objective about the other. Fuck whatever they're doing on the side. When it comes to just rockets, SpaceX has a better track record than our own NASA does. People actually died with NASA. No one's died with SpaceX yet. And then when people died because it was publicly funded, there was a public outcry, because most of Americans actually give a shit about human lives. That when people died, they're like, "Hey, yo, we need to be more careful about this." There was a teacher on that rocket, but SpaceX could just keep blowing wads of millions of billions of dollars on rockets and doing the same fucking shit, and they're testing it. And
so
I don't know. It's just weird. It's weird.
I just want to discuss.
We got a ton of shit to bitch about Republicans tonight, and it's just seeing people who are supposed to be higher than us and smarter than us. Fucking.
I just want to discuss how. I just wanted to mention how Kyle Kalinski can be so wrong 3 different times in one single tweet, and this is
he's very concise.
This is basically all of his tweets. So he says the complete fraud Elon Musk had another massive failure. He's wrong again. This isn't a failure. This is nothing. This is nothing more than a test.
And the actual launchers that are the things that are supposed to get caught and come back down made it back. It was like a part of that whole structure, which he's still the only one who can fucking land a rocket.
And he demands control. Kyle goes on to say, and he demands control of air traffic control for the entire country. First of all, air traffic control and launching rockets have absolutely nothing to do with each other. So he's wrong twice there. The idiot should be in prison. Yeah, the idiot should be in prison. Elon Musk should be in prison. That's wrong a third time. What has he done to suggest that he needs to be in prison? And then the last sentence of the tweet is he should return the $38 billion he stole from U.S. taxpayers. And this is the one that pisses me off the most, because the United States government
he's a robber baron.
He's a robber baron. The United States government are the ones that stole that money from the U.S. taxpayers and used it to pay Elon Musk. So you're wrong again, Kyle Kalinski. And this is almost every tweet that Kyle puts out there. It's all about how Elon Musk is terrible. You want to talk about living rent free in somebody's head.
Weird. You know what's also weird? that Elon Musk has gone on a pretty big like banning and censorship spree on people on
Well,
Twitter, but he
that
hasn't
brings us
gone
to the
after
next
Kyle.
topic. I think that's because
It's a fucking psyop, Dan. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I think that's because he realizes that Kyle has fucking lost it. Kyle Kalinski has lost it in every conceivable way.
Right, and that's what I was saying off the air. We were talking about this for a while, and what's wild is I feel like once Trump is gone, he'll be back to being a reasonable person again. He'll probably be back on Joe Rogan's show. I feel like Joe Rogan isn't someone who really holds grudges, except against Carlos Mencia.
No, I don't think Joe's too mad at Carlos at this point in his life, because
It'd be
Joe
wild
Rogan
if we
is.
had him on. That would be a show that
That would be. Oh,
Joe Rogan, if you ever listen to this show, you should have Carlos Mencia on your show.
Oh,
Help him rebirth.
You know what though? Carlos would never do it. He would never do it because Carlos still doesn't think he did anything wrong. If you listen to a lot of the interviews that he's done since that incident, he still doesn't think he's done anything wrong. That's radio for three. And maybe if you're a Joe Rogan fan, then you care. But we're not gonna dive too deep into that.
I mean, so those people are interested in fucking stand up. It's interesting too because, like, as you know, I've been thinking about trying to do fucking stand up. You know, as your average middle age or you need 30-year-old white person.
You need to fiddle with a wire or something there because you're getting crackly. You get a little crackly. What's going on over there?
I don't know. You know what I think it is? I think it's this USB hub. Honestly.
Oh shit, you're gone. You're gone. Your camera's gone.
Yeah. See what I mean?
We just lost Corey. we still have your audio, but now everybody's got to look at my ugly face. Hey, there's Belle. Did we lose Corey for good?
No, I don't think so. I think he's still here.
I'm still here.
Oh, sounds like your mic became unplugged too.
Yeah, I fiddled with this fucking. Why am I in the corner? I was fiddling with this hub that I was bitching about. I said, I think it's the hub. I think it's a combination of this MacBook being almost 10 years old, and this hub is a cheap hub. And I have.
It also sounds like you're not talking through your. It also sounds like you're not talking through your shirt anymore, but you sound awfully tinny. But anyway.
How do we sound now, Dan?
There you go. Much better. Much better. Corey's back.
I'm back.
Did you see this whole thing about Tulsi Gabbard uncovering sexual emails on the NSA servers?
No.
You didn't see this?
I didn't.
Oh my God. It's being reported even by places like the Daily Mail, CNN, the New York Times. I got the Reuters piece right here. I don't know what exactly was in there. I know I saw it, but I don't have it in front of me. But Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard said that more than 100 employees from across the intelligence community had been fired for using a secure government chat normally used to share sensitive information to participate in sexually explicit conversations. In an interview with Fox News Tuesday night, Gabbard described their use of the National Security Administration tool as, quote, an egregious violation of trust, end quote, that went against, quote, basic rules and standards around professionalism, end quote. I put out, quote, I put out a directive today that they will all be terminated and their security clearances revoked, end quote, Gabbard said. Conservative activist Chris Rufo, who writes for the City Journal, first disclosed this news on Tuesday. A spokesperson for the Office of the Director of National Intelligence said on X Tuesday that Gabbard had sent a memo directing all intelligence agencies to identify the employees who participated in the, quote, obscene, pornographic, and sexually explicit chat rooms, end quote, by Friday.
I shipped it over because her name's on my wall. And I got to say, when she was running for like president, and that was already after the fact that like there was a
She touched your ass.
No, there was a scuffle, and like where she like wasn't ahead of DNC anymore and all that stuff. Because remember, she was one of the only delegates that still backed Bernie Sanders. Like all that stuff happened to her, and then she was running for Democratic, and then they literally ran her out of the party. And then they're like, "Oh God, look at her! She's a turncoat. She went Republican." It's like, what was she fucking supposed to do? Leave her political aspirations in the fucking gutter when she just wants to make a change for the country? She got a little fucking wonky there with her going all conservative on Fox News and stuff like that. But
doing Tucker's show for him.
Yeah, but she fucking like isn't like when she left the chair of the DNC, backing Bernie with the delegate and all that stuff, and then ran for president. Like when she was still trying to be a part of the Democratic Party, she didn't give a fuck what bridges she burned. She was being principled. And here she is again, not giving a fuck who in the security intelligence agency that could be someone who could like really be helpful or whatever. She's fucking principled. And she's
Corey,
like, no,
isn't it interesting how principled Democrats have found their way into the MAGA movement, and then you still have people that wonder, how could Donald Trump have possibly been elected? You still have people asking that question, because I was listening to Jimmy Dore.
It's like you said on the
today.
show before this, you know, is it a half ounce of shit or is it a pound of shit? Which one would you rather eat?
Right. And I was, and to that point, I was listening to Jimmy Dore earlier today, and I remember this interview vaguely, but in 2016, after Donald Trump was first elected the first time, before, I think it was before he took office, but it was shortly after his election in 2016, Jimmy Dore talked to just a Waffle House employee. Waffle House is a very Southern institution, right? We've all probably stopped at a Waffle House along I-75 on trips down south as Detroiters, right? And what this Waffle House employee had said was that Donald Trump, I'm paraphrasing here, this isn't a direct quote, but Donald Trump is and was obviously a Yankee who needed his ass kicked, but the Democratic Party doesn't care about the American worker anymore. So where else do I have to go? And that is so much of, and like I said, that was a paraphrase. That wasn't exactly what he said, but that is the exact sentiment that you hear from a lot of working class people. It's not that they're huge fans of Donald Trump, but Donald Trump is offering them something. Whether or not he follows through on it is almost irrelevant. It's just a matter of where else do these people have to go?
Yeah,
because the Democratic Party is the party of the elites now. That wasn't the case in 2008 when Barack Obama was elected, but it is the case now.
Yeah,
100% the case now. And it started with Barack Obama, who was the original darling of Wall Street in the Democratic Party that everybody recognized. Now, when we look back in hindsight, we see that Bill Clinton was also there. Bill Clinton was probably the original.
But Bill Clinton was the original. Remember, because they bragged about having the smartest cabinet.
Right. Yeah. And now we're in a place where I totally understand why working class people voted for Donald Trump. Like if you struggle to see that, you're willfully ignorant. Yeah. You're not even bothering to pay attention. And
yeah, like I guess objectively,
I guess to bring it back to Tulsi Gabbard, she's kind of the political version of that. Does that make sense? Where else did she have to go?
Right. Exactly. And that's just it, right? It's like objectively what the Democratic Party is supposed to stand for, right? Like equality, just a basic safety net for every American to make sure they're not dying in the gutter somewhere. The working class. The basic principles of what the Democratic Party is supposed to be. I can't disagree with the majority of it. I might disagree with the means of how to do it, but I don't disagree with the end goal of anything of what their party, at least in 2016 when I first got into politics, what their party was supposed to stand for. I still don't disagree with any of those things, but it's not that party anymore.
Not even close. It's like
it doesn't care about the worker. It's about the elitist.
It's so funny. It's so funny. My grandfather, who was a roofer originally from rural Missouri, I remember him. He used to say, and this is it's not that funny now because of what we've been through in the last 10 years, but he used to say that the only good Republican is a dead one. That's what he used to say. He was joking because he was a funny guy, but he was a Democrat that was
saying it out of context, like make sure sound
right,
like a liberal extremist.
But he was a Democrat right now. If somebody said that today, right, that's what you would think, right? But like, he had friends that were Republicans. He lived in a time where you could disagree with somebody politically and still hang out with them and not have to like cast them aside. But that's what he would say. Is the only good Republican is a dead one. And when he said it,
and real quick, just to put a pin in
it was kind of a joke. Hold on. When he said it, it was kind of a joke. If somebody says it now, people take it very seriously. And after Trump was shot in the ear, it kind of makes sense why people take it so seriously now. But anyway, go ahead.
I was gonna say, as we're saying that, right? Like he's like him saying, even as a Democrat, like years and years and years ago, I don't ever see the stories of someone saying they had to disconnect from a family member because of, political ideologies or whatever. I can't say that I've seen, like, I probably have, but none come to mind when it comes to the idea of a Republican saying they had to stop talking to a family member because of who they voted for or what their political ideologies. But I see a lot of like people on the liberal left say I had to disconnect from this family member just because their political ideologies don't match with mine. Now, that's not trying to put the people on the ideological right on a pedestal, because I promise you, a lot of those people that said they had to do that is because of the fact that the family member kept making snide comments or making jokes or like at family gatherings and stuff. I'm not saying that they're innocent, but I don't see people on the ideological right talking about casting aside a family member or a friend or something because of something.
Unless
have you seen it? Have you seen it?
Not from a family member's perspective, but there are certain friends on the right that if you say anything bad about Israel, they don't really want to talk to you as much.
Oh, you've seen that happen?
Oh, yeah. I've seen that happen. Just a couple of times. Not directly. It's more of an indirect thing. It's more of like friends coming to me and being like, I kind of support the Palestinians and my, these aren't the exact words, but my Republican friend or colleague or whomever suddenly doesn't want to be my friend or colleague anymore.
That's wild.
How about Andrew Cuomo, Corey? You excited for him to run for mayor of New York?
Hey, I'm Italian.
Hey, I'm Italian.
That's a callback. Like
I think it's a very rude introduction
to a no show. You're right, Trump. That is a very rude introduction.
It's so funny because oh shit, my beer is so cold. It's floating on the floor.
Hey, Belle, what do you think of Andrew Cuomo?
I don't.
I have to get.
But you're Italian, so I'm curious. Are you guys related?
You know we're not related. I'm cooler than him. Wasn't he like
That was like the
accused of
most
something?
Italian response.
Wasn't he accused of something?
Yes, he was accused of grabbing girls' asses or something. I don't want to get
Yeah.
Sexual, but weren't the charges dropped or something?
Is that expected?
He was accused of inappropriate behavior with women. He was essentially
because he's like,
He
I kiss
resigned.
women on the cheek. It's an Italian thing. That's why we always go, hey, on the show, because he's like, it's an Italian thing. Like he said something like that, like in one of his trying to like apologize speeches. He's like, it's what we do. That's why I brought you in. You're our Italian correspondent.
It's what we do as Italians.
This guy had a committee established by Cuomo to root out corruption.
And then Dan is our white correspondent.
Oh, so what are you, Corey?
Our black correspondent.
Oh, okay.
Obviously,
I accept that.
Are getting attacked.
I was trying to tell us about it. What on it?
Bell?
What?
About Cuomo. I brought you back in.
I know, I couldn't hear you. You're like staticked out. I don't know what happened.
That was weird.
Oh, you were talking about Cuomo, and I don't know. You were telling us his story. You were reading something, and I just kept cutting you off.
Yeah, no, he established it was a committee established by Cuomo to root out corruption in politics. But when the investigation started going towards his way, he disbanded the whole commission. So feds actually came.
that is
That's the whole side story.
That is some
Italian shit.
Okay,
That's some Italian shit. He's like, this sounds great. And then they're like, yeah, but you're corrupt. He's like, yeah, never mind. Let's get rid of this. And
so what okay. So in hindsight now, knowing that like the charges with Cuomo were dropped or whatever, what if that was all smoke and mirrors to cover this shit, Bell? Like, what if he's like, oh, fuck. They found a lot of shit. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to throw myself on the fucking blade, throw myself on the sword to cover this with this, but then I'll be able to vindicate myself because I can drop the fabricated charges that I created.
Oh shit, buddy! I gotta dig a little deeper.
I'll make a comeback.
You gotta be kidding me! I got masses full of Pepe.
Hey, I'm Italian.
I make a comeback in 25 after my therapy.
Oh, whatever happened with that sexual assault charge, Cuomo? It disappeared.
What sexual assault charge?
The fuck are you talking about? You think you're better than me?
Yeah, dude. He's in a bunch of scandals, dude. Like
They all got washed away with the fucking fake sexual assault charge.
Well, not even that. Like, let's start with the fact that he fucking had old people killed by sending them back to nursing homes that were loaded with COVID while he was sitting there telling you. While he was sitting there telling.
But Dan, it was all about the sexual assault charge that he had.
Bro.
Do you remember all this shit? Okay, it's all coming back. It's all coming back.
I remember.
I got it right in front of me.
That was in charge of the Human Rights Foundation, which is for gay people and the Me Too movement and stuff. They were consulting him.
Bell's got it right in front of him. Give it to us, Bell.
What's going on?
Give it to us, Bell.
So in 2020, Lindsey Boylan, a former aide for Cuomo, who was a Democratic candidate for Manhattan Borough President in 2021, alleged, Cuomo sexually assaulted me for years. Many saw it and watched. Boylan further alleged that Cuomo exists without ethics, takes advantage of people, including me, and ran a toxic team environment. A spokesperson for the Cuomo administration denied the accusation. On February 27, 2021, Charlotte Bennett, an executive assistant and health policy advisor of Cuomo, also accused him of sexual harassment, saying that he asked her about her sex life on several occasions in spring 2020. And if that she had ever been in sexual relationships with older men. She also suggested that Cuomo was open to relationships with women above the age of 22.
Yeah, maybe you go down on her, dude. Don't be selfish. Don't be a sexist.
Oh my God. There's 6 women, 7 women, 8. 8 women. Oh, 9 women.
But then all the charges are dropped, though, right?
I don't think he was ever charged. I think he probably just paid him off, dude.
He wasn't
Just
charged with
bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you go down on her, dude. Don't be selfish. Don't be a sexist.
Yeah, don't be a sexist, Cuomo. He's Italian. But like, and so
Bada bing.
So what's really funny is like all of my knowledge about Cuomo, like since he resigned, because I haven't like looked into it or paid any attention to it, is all based on Mike McRae and Jimmy Dore interactions when he's impersonating Cuomo. But like I was like right about like quite a bit of
Former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo. Like, isn't it so funny how in New York politics, and this is me speaking as a Midwesterner. So if you're like if
yeah,
you're a New Yorker,
typical that like Italian, New York, corruption.
like if you're a New Yorker,
correct.
if you're a New Yorker that wants to tell me that I'm full of shit, I'm just a Midwesterner who doesn't know what I'm talking about. But it seems like
okay, Tim Walls, and sometimes gosh darn it, sometimes I just say some silly thing.
I'm just a humble knucklehead.
Yeah. And sometimes I'm just a plain old knucklehead.
No, what I'm saying is, like, doesn't it seem like, as an outsider, Corey and Bell, doesn't it seem like does it seem like New York politics always does this? Like, there's always a weird redemption story in New York politics. Like every time, like Andrew Cuomo was governor of New York. He was fucking COVID Jesus there for a long time until we figured out that he was fucking killing old people while he was telling you to get the vaccine so that you don't kill old people.
I don't think he
And
made
now
it to
it's
the
like,
vaccine.
and now it's like, I'm just going to, yeah, he did. But now he's like, I'm just going to run for New York. I'm going to run for the mayor of New York City. Nobody will notice. And the thing about it is
probably going to win too.
That's the thing. That's the thing. Like if he wins, dude, if he wins, I don't know. I'm talking about
comeback story.
Like there is a greater than 0% chance that Andrew Cuomo is going
for
to
America
win this
to be
election.
America. It almost has to happen. Because when you hear people like outside of America talk about America,
we love a comeback story.
We love a comeback story. We love a character arc, and we love failure because failure leads to greater success. And we love the idea of people failing before they succeed. Look at Edison. Look at the fucking Wright brothers. Look at, like, you know what I mean? Like Ford. Like all of these people have this story of failing, hitting rock bottom, and then just fucking exploding in the second act.
Unless you're
Robert
Hillary
Downey
Clinton.
Jr. You know, even the actors, like everybody. Tim Allen.
I love Robert Downey Jr. You know what one of my favorite Robert Downey Jr. films is?
George Jones.
I have 2. You know what my 2 favorite Robert Downey Jr. films are?
Kanye West. He reconciled. He's not a Nazi anymore.
No, that's not my favorite film. My 2 favorite.
I keep talking.
My 2 favorite Robert Downey Jr. films. You guys are gonna think I'm nuts. A underappreciated independent film called Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Have you heard of this film?
Negative.
Never heard of it. You fuckers have never heard of it. You want a great Robert Downey Jr. performance? Go watch a film called Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. It stars Robert Downey Jr., Michelle Monaghan, and Val Kilmer. One of my favorite films of all time. Robert Downey Jr. film number 2. You guys are going to think I'm nuts. And again, it might not be a film you've ever seen. No, fuck Iron Man.
Wow, I didn't have such a strong opinion about a Marvel comic movie.
Charlie Bartlett. You guys seen this film before?
No.
You guys are missing out.
I'm not a
on
Robert
two-
Downey guy.
You get well.
I
You
mean,
gotta,
I guess I have no opinion on him.
you gotta see these two films.
Wait. Okay, so Dan, I need you to tell me, which movie is this? After being mistaken for an actor, a New York thief is sent to Hollywood to train under a private eye for a potential movie role. But the duo are thrown together with a struggling actress into a murder mystery. I am International Movie Database rating 7.5.
That's from Liberty Twitcher, and yes, no, that's Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Okay,
That's what that film is.
I don't even need to see the movie now. I know the whole plot.
You need to see this fucking film. You need to see this film.
All right, I'll add it to my list.
One of the best dark comedies. You like dark comedies?
Yeah. Is it as good as The Room?
The Room is one of the worst films of all time, so it's way better than The Room.
Are you kidding me? Hey, Belle, real quick, look up the International Movie Database rating for The Room.
Liberty said it has an IMDb rating of 7.5. That's pretty solid. For Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, that is.
A passing grade.
What do you think it is, Corey?
10, obviously.
What? Guess again.
9.9.
Now you sound like Dave Portnoy
3.6,
reviewing.
bro. It's fucking horrible.
I was going to say, now you sound like Dave Portnoy reviewing pizzas.
Jesus.
It's 3.6.
One bite every one of
No,
those rules.
I think I had you watch The Room at my house before. You might not recognize it because of the name.
No, I know. I
I
remember.
did not hit her.
That's hard to
Hi,
forget.
Mark.
Oh, hi, Mark.
I already know that Liberty's going to go watch Kiss Kiss Bang Bang if he hasn't seen it
but he
already.
also
Or
needs to
she, I
watch
don't want to
The
assume
Room.
your gender.
You also need to watch The Room. What? Oh, okay. All right. So, all right. Rotten Tomatoes and then the audience rating for The Room. I'll look that up. I need to
Liberty says he's actually going to go watch Kiss Kiss Bang Bang this
No, I
weekend.
think he's Dan, shut up. He's obviously talking about The Room.
Don't assume his gender or her gender or their gender. Stop it.
They are obviously going to go watch The Room.
That person.
Yeah. Does Kiss Kiss Bang Bang have midnight viewings in like little liberal towns like Royal Oak or Ferndale?
Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
He's
Why
gonna
are
go-
we still on this?
Because
It must be a Friday night. Did you guys see that Katy Perry
The
and
Room
Gayle
is a
King
good
are going to
fucking movie.
space? I'm dead serious.
Who?
Katy Perry and Gayle King are going to space because they've earned
Who's
it.
Gayle King?
I thought she's on one of the CBS morning shows.
It's not about earning it anymore because it's privatized. You just have to pay for it.
That's exactly what they're doing. They're going on Virgin. They're going on Richard Branson's
But Virgin
flight.
doesn't actually like he goes into what the stratosphere or something like that. Like he doesn't actually go
I
into
don't-
space. He just
I don't fucking care, and I'm really regretting bringing this up
why?
because I don't care. Why did I even say anything?
If I had money, I'd go to space. Wouldn't you? Actually, no. I'd probably
would-
go if I had like cancer
no.
because like I don't want to blow up. I don't want.
I
my
would
story to
spend-
be a sob story.
I would spend my money on like a really cool golf trip before I would go to space.
You could, well, you could probably do a lot of golf trips for the same price of going to space once.
That's what I'm saying.
But like, yeah,
I'd go
I
play
don't know.
St.
I guess I'd
Andrews.
have to.
I'd go
probably
play
go-
Augusta National.
Liberty Twitcher said after watching that Elon rocket blow up, I ain't going to space. It was a test
And
flight.
Who the fuck?
All the more
Is
reason to
Liberty-
go.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Is Liberty Twitcher Kyle Kalinski? Has he been watching the show the whole time?
No, I don't think so. That would mean that he
Don't
was-
insult Liberty Twitcher like that. My God.
But like, I would, yeah. I don't know. I want my death to be like when I die, however I die, I want it to be everyone to be like, oh, that's badass, not aw. Like a carbon monoxide poisoning death, that's like just sad. Going out in a blaze of glory in a rocket, like, oh, that's pretty badass. Yeah,
Bell,
he tried to
I'm
base
send-
jump off of the
Bell,
fucking
I'm sending you
Renaissance
another
Center and
link
got
that I forgot to
smacked by
send
the
you.
monorail. That's badass.
Maybe not. I can't fucking copy and paste on this goddamn computer because I was just looking at my notes and I'm going,
Dude, it's just Command C. Like, come on. And then Command
no,
V.
it's not that simple to copy and paste it into this fucking stupid thing. Did you see Thomas
Did you
Massey?
try Command C, Command V?
Will you shut the fuck up? Did you see Thomas Massey's
Friday night, boys.
reaction to the GOP spending bill? Did you get that, Bill? Did that come through? I think it did. Throw it up there for us real quick. Because Thomas Massey, again, being the adult in the room, the only Republican to go against the spending bill of the Republican Party. Because why? It's going to cost us more money. As they always do. And this is why we always tell you that both parties are the exact same. Go ahead. Bell's got it up there. Let me throw it in there. This was Thomas Massey coming out of the spending bill meeting, I don't know, like a week ago. I'm too drunk to remember. Go ahead and roll it, Bell.
Yeah. Can you just talk to us? Are you still a no? Is there anything?
They convinced me in there. I'm a no. Look what let me their own numbers. If the Republican plan passes under the rosiest assumptions, which aren't
rosiest,
we're going to add $328 billion to the deficit this year. We're going to add $295 billion to the deficit the year after that, and $242 billion to the deficit.
But it's going down
under the rosiest assumptions. Why would I vote for that?
So are you solidly a no?
Yeah, they convinced me. I was a lean no until this meeting. No,
And
no,
then
no.
I was a lean no until this meeting.
Points. Look. These are not something I made up. This is the leadership's talking points. It adds $328 billion to the deficit. It adds $295 billion to the deficit the year after that. The only way they get to this magic thing where it's not going to kill our country is 5 years from now. They imagine that 2.5% growth accumulates, and that even right here they say they're going to cap discretionary spending. You think we're going to cap discretionary spending and then spend at the rate of inflation after that? That has never happened. So their assumptions.
I just love the way he says that.
Take their assumptions at face value.
Never happened.
They told us in there they're going to increase the deficit in 2025 by $328 billion. And I've been here long enough. I've been here 12 years. So I've seen a 10-year plan or two come all the way to 10 years. Under Boehner, we had these 10-year plans. Under Ryan, we had
let's
these
address
10-year
that after
plans.
Thomas Massey speaks the truth.
Anything past the third year never happens.
That's right. And then Mike Johnson comes out, for those that are just listening, and just slides right behind Thomas Massey.
The only one speaking sense. So I got a fun one. Here's
what
a
was the
fun
comment?
one. Here's a fun one.
Democrat
look,
Mama's Boys.
Democrat Mama's Boys on the setups I paid for with my tax dollars. Enjoy the welfare bums. Doge is coming for you.
As we literally just talked about, the only adult in the room, Thomas Massey.
Like
being
literally the only
adult in
one
the room.
talking about cutting the budget.
Right.
Dude, the irony. The fucking irony. As there's a fucking Tulsi fucking poster behind me. Like
this is why I love what we do.
he goes,
This is
who's
why-
a moron? I know you're not talking about me. I know you're not talking about me. Thanks for following the show. No, this is fun because honestly, we probably would actually get along. He just assumes that we're something like, I don't know.
What's funny is
he's the same as that fucking liberal that I was talking about pre the show, who was assuming who I voted for because we disagreed on geopolitics. Tulsi and Thomas Massey work for Russia. Nice try.
Hey, Lil Blorf, listen from the fucking beginning of this episode because we actually gave Elon a lot. We gave Elon a lot of credit, but nobody cares. Nobody actually cares.
Dude, it was literally
People have
us.
big
Like we
mouths.
said like 30 words. It's like he read a tweet and assumed everything about us. He probably already in his mind, the character he created, the
Big mouths, little
caricature
brains.
is he already assumed who we voted for. Our political ideologies.
Who did we
All
vote
of
for, Low Blump? Who did we vote
Hey,
for?
Lil Blub, who do we vote for? He's not gonna answer. Yeah,
I'm
no, he
just waiting.
probably will.
I'm just waiting.
Well,
I'm just waiting.
I'm not gonna dictate the whole show to him and give us like 20 seconds of dead air for the rest of the podcast listeners. Ain't nobody got time for that.
I love that shit though. Big mouths, little brains.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Big mouths, little brains.
Which is the soundbite that we should probably have for the show.
No, that would be good. That would be really good. Almost as good as Pepe Silvia.
Oh, dude. Actually,
what you got?
Elon Musk actually just voted for Lil Blorm.
Yourself.
Oh, we're Kamala boys. Now I actually think Lil Blump is actually
he's a silly boy. Lil Blump is a silly boy. He's just trying to troll.
No, I actually
no, it's white men actually for Kamala.
Yeah, don't assume our gender.
Yeah, it's actually
don't assume our fucking genders. He's assuming our genders, so I'm offended. Number one.
He's at home doing the Roman salute in the mirror.
You know what's really funny is I don't know if Liberty Twitcher's still watching, but he might be another one. He might be another Liberty Twitcher.
Well, that's funny. Remember, Liberty Twitcher used to come in the beginning and just talk shit just to troll us. He's here.
Yeah,
but he did. Liberty Twitcher used to just fucking troll us too until he figured out that like, we're just one of you, brother. I'm just gun toting.
What else?
Fucking.
What else do we have? You know what we didn't get to, and we have to get to this. And this is actually going to really make Lil Blorm upset. But we have to call out Donald Trump tonight on this show. Free speech, right?
Yeah. You know, objectively, free speech is free speech, man. And you can't go after it. Democrats did it hard for 4 fucking years. Really fucking hard. And we bitch about it.
And still are.
The entire fucking time. And we still bitch about it. Like Ministry of Truth, the lawyers and everything they were sending into all the social media companies and all that stuff. And then Trump came along and he's like, yeah, we're trying to stop this. And it's like, oh, that's great. And then he turns around and truths.
Shall I read it? I have it in front of me.
I have it in front of me too.
Donald Trump's truth from 3/4/2025 at 7:30 a.m. All federal funding will stop for any college, school, or university that allows illegal protests. Agitators will be imprisoned / permanently sent back to the country from which they came. American students will be permanently expelled or, depending on the crime, arrested. No masks. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
You didn't say no mask properly because it's in all caps.
Sorry. No masks.
Well, so here's the thing: it's like Donald Trump also has, you know, the opportunity to use free speech, and he can say whatever he says. But when he is trying to use his power as president to infringe on other people's free speech, that's where I'm like, dude, come on, like federal funding for things like. That's mud to the conversation. I don't give a shit. The words that piss me off about this truth is illegal protests. He is now insinuating that the government gets to decide what is an illegal protest.
What's an agitator?
Yeah.
Right. That's another good point.
Under the First Amendment, the freedom to assemble is protected. And even that has been infringed on by like heavily in Democrat cities because you have to get a permit to freedom to peacefully assemble. You know what I mean?
Government. Can I please have permission?
Yeah, government. Can I please use my my First Amendment, and yeah, sure, I'll have to pay a permit. No, freedom
That's
to
not how it
assemble under
works.
the First Amendment, peacefully assemble under the First Amendment is peacefully assemble under the First Amendment. It doesn't matter what any president, what any person's belief is, whatever they don't like, they shouldn't be able to have the power to deem it illegal.
But
And
Corey,
this one, it'll be fun to see to go to the Supreme Court, because I feel like the Supreme Court will not side with him on this one.
no, well, here's the thing. I don't even think it's going to go there, right? Because is this just one of Trump's sort of loudmouth, I guess, truths or tweets or whatever the hell you want to call them? To
Like, is this equivalent to when the looting starts, the shooting starts?
yeah, is this just his like call out to his people of where he just grabs them to get them riled up? I don't know. All I know is if this is really what
Right.
Donald
Is this
Trump
the-
wants and really what Donald Trump believes, then he's not a free speech absolutist, right?
Is this a
He's
set
not-
it and forget it like tweet, or is this one he's willing to like engage in the comments type tweet? You know what I mean? Like, there's some things that you'll post and you don't even want to engage with anyone afterwards to try to like reinforce what you're saying. It's like, I said what I said. Fuck it. I'm moving. I'm already past this conversation. You're stuck on it, kind of thing. Or is this something that he actually wants to engage? Because, and this is the scary part, he did just recently revoke $400 million in grants to Columbia University because of an anti-Semitism issue.
Well, that just brings us back to Jeffrey Epstein and Mossad, right? The thing we talked about in our last episode just a couple of days ago, with it we invite you all to go check out.
Hat conversation.
And what was your point?
Nobody
Nobody that's pro-Trump wants to talk about Trump being on the Epstein list, and nobody that's anti-Trump wants to talk about anybody but Trump being on the Epstein list.
100%. That is exactly how that goes. And meanwhile, everyone's using it as some sort of poster to talk about, to get clout and make tweets about it. But like, there was a bunch of minors that were.
Yeah, maybe you go down on her, dude. Don't be selfish. Don't be a sexist.
Terrible. because I was going to continue to say that's like a lot of kids are molested, and that seems to be lost in the fog as everyone is just trying to use the Jeffrey Epstein list as some sort of political clout and to get like traction on the internet. And it's kind of gross. Like, it's like they don't even care that shit happened, because they just want to get fucking jab in the Democrat side, or
They just want to use it to get
jab
their
on the
people.
Republican side. Yeah, and it's sick. It just sucks.
Bell,
It's a sad topic, because like that shit's real and that shit happens, and it's being used to grift.
Bell's ready for me. What videos do we have left? Like
Wait,
the
did you want
ones,
him to
the
say
ones that I.
something, or did you just got a video for him?
No, I wanted to move on because I don't want to make anybody. I don't want to make anybody too mad.
Well, you got the crying guy.
Oh, I love the
Aaron
crying
McKay.
guy.
We got the measles video, and we have old Willie.
Oh, Willie. So hold on. Which
Willie
one of
Nelson?
those? No, Big Bill Clinton. Surprise us, Bell. Throw a video
See,
up there.
if you would have said Big Willie, I would have.
I want to get through these before we get to next week's episodes. So I'm gonna have Bell surprise us. Throw a video up there. Let's see. What has he got? Oh, I love this guy. Okay, so before I throw it up on the screen, the crying Southerner about Zelensky. You seen this? Have you seen this video yet, Corey?
I haven't.
Corey hasn't seen it yet. Bell's seen it. All right. Go ahead and roll it for us, Bill. Or Bell. Bell.
I don't give a fuck what he wears.
Oh, me neither.
This man has been respectful to every leader in the world. Everybody. And you clowns want to fucking do that shit to him when he comes over here.
Oh, it's just sad.
and then talk to him like shit and kick him out of the White House.
So sad.
You fucking disgraceful son of a bitches.
Oh my God.
Man, I just want to be next to Zelensky right now. I wish I could talk to him. Forgive us.
Lord, forgive us.
God damn, man. I can't. Sorry, y'all. I can't believe what I just witnessed in our White House.
Well, Dan,
what an unbelievable beta male. First of all,
I got one thing to say.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
That's the whole thing about like the which side are you on drop is a perfect microcosm everything with Ukraine.
If I had to put money on a million, like if I had to choose one TikTok video out of 100, let's say, of which one I think is like a psyop or like a Fed, it's probably that one. The second one would be someone talking about like guns and like trying to be like, are you ready for the revolution? Comment here and post a picture of the gun you're going to use. And it's like, all right, I see you, Fed. And then like this, it's like, all right, I see you, Fed. Like, what the fuck was that?
Where did they find like a Southern guy with a backwards Braves hat on to be like crying about Zelensky in the White House?
About any country in South America or Syria or fuck it, still Libya, who has the biggest slave trade. You know what I mean? It's just like this is, and there could be like there's millions of people making videos all day long, right? But the fact that this one caught traction, what? Some random guy in his garage crying because the way our geopolitical politics that isn't unique to Trump just put it on the front page for everyone that they've been doing for decades. That exact type of interaction that you saw that was disgusting and gross from Trump with Zelensky, watching them bully a small country, like, you know what I mean? Like, never mind, it's Ukraine. Watching America just straight bully a small country that's been happening like since the 50s.
The wildest part about it is the next video that I'm going to have Bell play from about 5 months before Putin invaded Crimea in 2014. Go ahead, Bell. Throw it up there. Throw Big Willie Styles up there. We love Big Willie.
You said Big Willie that time, so I knew it was Bill Clinton.
Go ahead and roll it, Bill.
Mr. Putin he's very smart.
But you know him better than most people.
Yeah, I do.
What was he like behind closed doors, away from the sort of the public utterances?
Smart and remarkably, we had a really good, blunt relationship.
How blunt?
Brutally blunt.
Ever fisticuffs?
No, but I think the right strategy most of the time but it's frustrating to people in your line of work. You should be brutally honest with people in private. And then if you want them to help you, try to avoid embarrassing them in public.
Right.
Now, sometimes they do things which make it impossible for you to keep quiet. But by and large, I found all the people I dealt with appreciated it if I told them the truth. How I honestly felt and what our interests were and what our objectives were. And they also appreciated it when I didn't kick them around in public for as long as I couldn't kick them around. So I that's my experience. And
did Putin ever renege on a personal agreement he made to you?
He did not.
So behind closed doors, he could be trusted.
He kept his word.
That's where it ends. But yeah, he kept his word.
Very interesting, right?
Well, dude, it is. And then with the context of everything, it's right. Like when it on the grand scheme of things, when it comes to someone like Putin, obviously I don't agree with him politically or ideologically, on how he runs a country. Like here in America, we can talk shit about our government and not have to worry about it. I don't like the idea of communism. I like the idea of owning private property. But when it comes to the idea of dealing with somebody and them keeping their word, I don't know. I kind of lost my train of thought there.
I don't have that much to say. I just have to take a piss like a racehorse. And all I know is what Bill Clinton said there. If replace Bill Clinton with Donald Trump, and what's the reaction?
Oh, the reaction is fucking terrible.
Is there anything else we have to say?
No, but it's like when they talk about Putin, well, Clinton laid it out masterfully there when he talks about the idea of just being blunt and being truthful. Because let's be honest, any leader of any country, when they come to a conversation with you, and they could be the friendliest, happiest person, when it comes down to brass tacks, their country's interests is what's at stake and what's at heart and why they're there in the fucking first place, right? Look at Trump.
Yeah, as in the reason that Ukraine is always going to matter more to Russia than it does to us.
I see pictures of him riding a bear, I think, and there's a couple of pictures of him riding horses and stuff like that, shirtless. He might just like riding horses. Ultimately, what Putin wants to do in his free time is ride horses. And if he has to take away from that time from riding horses shirtless in the fucking prairie and has to come meet a world leader, he's going there because his country's interests are at heart.
Fair enough.
And flip the script. Trump would rather be golfing. Trump would rather just be out there golfing. And
so would I.
He is being pulled away from just golfing to actually do his job and go and try to meet with a world leader and take up his time away from golfing. Then he's going to be there to what he believes is of value to his time. And that's just America's interests. And that's basically what, Clinton just said. He's like, yeah, you just go there, you be blunt. You just tell them what you want. You tell them your interests. And that's what you do. And then he goes and he says, Putin never reneged on anything that he said he wanted to do. And based on all the other information in the world, when you dive into Glenn Greenwald, Aaron Mate, Matt Taibbi, and the different reports you see from leftists in media when they talk about Putin, it's kind of the same thing, because you look at different stories of how when after 9/11, Bush wanted to create what we now call the Patriot missiles, right? Which is what it's basically what Israel uses which is the Iron Dome. That's what the Patriot missiles are. It's just what Israel uses.
Bell, I'm bringing you in. I gotta pee.
Oh,
and
okay.
And
you were doing your thing.
And so when we talk the Iron Dome is the Patriot missile system that America created. Iron Dome is what Israel got it, and it's easy for Israel to use it on an area that's much smaller than the whole fucking size of America, so it works more efficiently there, and they protect Israel with it pretty efficiently. And when Bush was talking about creating a missile defense system back after 9/11, at the in the world leader meetings, Putin was involved because Putin is the one who had the response. Bush was talking about creating a missile defense system that could stop any missile or any sort of ballistic missile, intercontinental missile, all of these different missiles, and track it, catch it, knock it out. When this technology was being developed between a bunch of Western countries, Putin said to Bush, let me be involved. I would like to also help and create this type of missile system as well. We can all work together and create a protective missile system. Bush told him no. So Putin, in response, and being there to represent the personal interests of his own personal country, goes, well, if you're going to create a missile system that's defensive, that blocks any missile coming to you, and you're not going to let me in on this technology to also help me build a missile system that protects any missile system protected towards me, then I am going to have to try to build a missile that blocks or that supersedes, and goes past your missile system. You know what I'm talking about, Bell?
I'm here. I peed. It was so good.
And it's just like, and so when I hear stories about that, or like the Minsk Accords, and like the verbal agreement that NATO will not budge one more, it always seems like Russia, like, and this might be American propaganda that makes me think this, but based on all the history I know, it always seems like Russia was always on the back foot. That it was always in the trenches. Russia was always the defense, and America was always the offense. Now, there was different penetrations in that where Russia was also doing their shitty geopolitical things. Like, for example, the Cuban Missile Crisis, like that shit. Like, Russia wasn't innocent. They were also trying to extrapolate and expand their political ideologies across the world. Like Afghanistan, for example, we both, like, between the two big powerhouses on the block, there's probably 50 fucking years of war going on in Afghanistan between the two.
And nobody's ever been able to actually penetrate Afghanistan.
Nope. Afghanistan is a uninvasionable country.
Even Alexander the Great couldn't do it.
History proves it, man. Afghanistan cannot be defeated.
Afghanistan is the greatest country in the world.
It's a bold statement. It's a bold statement, Dan. But based on longevity, it is one of the only countries that I could think of that has been uninvadable. Governments change, everything changes, but whoever
couldn't do it.
Whoever is there, like, in charge at the
Great
time.
Britain.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, Great Britain.
Back when they occupied
Europe,
India, they tried to invade Afghanistan. That's literally how the Mujahideen was born.
Alexander the Great couldn't do it. Like, all of them, like everybody, nobody could ever invade and hold Afghanistan. And there's a weird respect for that, right? Like that, and that supersedes governments. It supersedes everything.
What else is missing? What other videos did we have? I know we played the crying guy, and we played
just the crying guy. That's so funny.
Big Willie Styles.
We have Aaron Matei.
Aaron Matei.
Which one was that again? Yeah, which one was that? That was no, it was his tweet.
Yeah,
it was the one. Oh yes, that's right. That's it. This actually fits into what we were talking about, because it was actually an original tweet from Brian Krasenstein, where Senator Murphy tries to say that the White House is now just a propaganda arm of the Kremlin. You got to hear this. Bell's got it up here. I'll throw it up. Here we go.
Aaron Matei.
Go ahead. Go ahead and roll it, Bell.
It is absolutely shameful what is happening right now. The White House has become an arm of the Kremlin. Every single day, you hear from the National Security Advisor, from the President of the United States, from his entire national security team, Kremlin talking points. For the last week, the White House...
This guy looks like an asshole.
As if Ukraine started this war. That's essentially saying that Poland invaded Germany at the beginning of World War II. There are still facts in this world. And the fact is
my God.
Vladimir Putin is a brutal dictator. Russia started this war. And the entire pretext for that meeting yesterday was an attempt to rewrite history in order to sign a deal with Putin that hands Putin Ukraine. That is disastrous for U.S. national security.
Not even close.
That means that China will be on the march. Putin may not stop. America may be at war with a nuclear power. And for what? For what? It appears as if America is trying to align itself with dictators, that Donald Trump wants us to have our closest relationships with despots all around the world, because that makes it easier for him to transition America into a kleptocratic oligarchy where Elon Musk and Donald Trump rule and steal from the American people. If we were allied with democracies, that would be harder. But if the United States' closest partner is Russia, then it makes it a lot easier for Donald Trump, Elon, and their billionaire pals to steal from the American people, to steal our data, to steal our Medicare, to steal our Medicaid in order to enrich themselves.
Who is this fucking guy? McCarthy?
So you like that's Senator Murphy.
Who is that, McCarthy?
You like how they always like to do
God,
this?
what is that, fucking Truman? Jesus Christ. It's literally, that sounds like a fucking clip from the 1950s.
Yeah, it might as well be, because you like how they always like to do this thing where they like throw out this like worst case scenario at every turn that they possibly can. Like,
yeah, if you try to just negotiate with the enemy, with your enemy, to make it to where your life is a little bit easier.
That if we allow this, then China's going to invade Taiwan. If we allow this, Russia, Putin's just going to take over Ukraine. That stupid, unbelievably moronic idea that's what
this guy's probably
Vladimir
at home
Putin wants to
overlooking the Hoover blacklist and just adding names to it.
It's so funny because the video that Bell just played was a video that was originally tweeted out by Brian Krasenstein, but it was retweeted by Aaron Mattei. And Aaron Mattei's tweet was, "Wow, no Democrat has ever said this before. Maybe former FBI chief Robert Mueller is available to look into this." Because that's exactly what this is. That's exactly what this is. This is nothing more than
dude. Yeah, I can't believe that the Russia puppet shit is popping up again. When
really? You can't believe it? I can believe it.
I can believe it, and we just dog shit it all over, right? For his talk, like pretending to be about free speech, but it's just about his speech, right? But his first presidency, it was the whole what was the dossier? What was
the Steele
that
dossier?
The Steele dossier, right? And then all that shit. When it was really by Obama's administration, like putting wiretaps in Trump's office, and the Steele dossier was found out to be like funded by the Clinton Foundation, and calling him a Russian stooge. And then his first administration, they're sitting here calling him a Russian stooge, and it might be his fault that the Ukraine invasion went from just Crimea to an actual invasion, because Obama, when he was caught with his hand in the cookie jar, because under his presidency the Maidan coup happened, and when he was found out that he had his hand in the cookie jar, he let Putin take Crimea as a treat, like, all right, yeah, no, you caught us, kind of thing, right? And then Trump comes in and he's like, yeah, I know, I'm not going to give you sheets because Obama was just giving you defensive weapons. I'll give you fucking javelins. And then the Ukrainians were using the javelins to fuck Russians up. And they were just like, that's it. We're coming in. And like the war might actually be Trump's fault. I'm still formulating that in my head, and it might piss off Trump fucking sycophants. But like him giving Ukraine offensive weapons pissed Russia off to the point where they're like, all right, we're invading. And now Trump is like, all right, we're going to end this. And so Trump, between 2016 and 2020, Trump gives Ukraine offensive weapons to attack Russia. And he's called a Russian puppet. And then when he comes in and tries to clean up his mess and is like, all right, let's just end this. I'm sorry I gave them weapons. Let's just stop this and make a ceasefire because people are dying. He's still a fucking Russian puppet. And the whole Russian puppet thing is just
overplayed.
You hate Trump. Like, we just gave a very objective constitutional reason why Trump is a shitty president when it comes to free speech. You hate Trump for that shit. Not the bullshit that the military industrial complex forces down your throat. And I just don't understand how people don't get this. And the only reason I give people pause about this is it goes back to that Hunter S. Thompson quote that I can never fucking find when I need to. But basically the premise is when you are head first into politics and dealing with this shit, you forget to realize that everyone else is just in a boat in the ocean trying to keep their boat steady and not rocking and taking on water and trying to keep their head straight long enough to avoid the next wave. Everyone in America is just trying to make sure that they don't, like, it's such a American exceptionalist thing that Americans are able to the word I'm looking for, separate themselves from politics in general and just live a normal life is such an affluent, privileged thing that a majority of the country doesn't get to do. And when people like Trump just thrust it in their face, because that's what Trump does, Biden was quiet as fuck. There were genocides going on. They were trying to create ministries of disinformation where literally they were saying that you're too stupid to be able to decipher the information you see on the internet. The government is going to do that for you. And everyone's just like, okay, yeah. We are so fucking privileged that we get to separate ourselves from the politics of our country. That when the actual politics themselves are pushed in your face forcefully and annoyingly by an agitating president, we think he's a fascist. It just doesn't make any fucking sense, dude.
I got nothing to add. Shall we kill it?
Like, I thought about going more than I just thought. Then I was like, rounding it up with fascist is just perfect because it's just such a fucking key word that we're throwing around right now. It's just absolutely insane.
Love it. Why don't you tell the people where they can find us, Corey?
Libservative Podcast is found on all social media and podcast platforms. Our website is libservativeshow.com. We can be found at Libservative on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Instagram and Twitter at LibservativePod. Our TikTok videos can be found at Libservative Podcast, and you can reach out directly at libservativepod@gmail.com. Subscribe today.
Rebella Body Snatcher on the ones and twos. He as always has been Corey Walsh.
He's Dan Griffin.
It's been Libservative Intellectual Idiots fostering political and cultural literacy. And until next time, we are out of here.
The great fundamental issue now before our people. We, the people, cannot turn back. Somebody must lead, or else the fight would not be made at all.